Q. I'm your host, the Beto-Man, and we have a very special guest with us here today. We have Mr. Andres Soria. There you go.
Yes,
Right?
sir.
All right. All right. So what we're going to do today is Mr. Andres here wants to interview me and ask me a couple of questions, and then we're going to proceed to talk about journalism and provide some tips for this young man who's out of RCC, Riverside Community College. You're going to the local community college here, right?
Yes, sir.
You're not going to the Moreno Valley campus or the Norco campus?
No. It's the main city one.
All right. Okay. What's your first question?
Well, I'm very curious to know, because you've been in the radio industry for so long, what really first inspired your passion to get into entertainment?
Okay. When I was a child, I started listening to a lot of radio, and I loved music. I started getting into rock and roll. Elvis Presley was one of my favorites.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I started listening to Fats Domino, Chuck Berry. You name them. Ricky Nelson, all of them. Just
Nice.
the entire group. And it was a station out of L.A. I lived out in Coachella, the Coachella Valley,
Mm-hmm.
and it was very staticky. It would come in every now and then, mostly at night. It was express radio, and I loved the music, and I was thinking, God, I want to be a disc jockey one day, and I was very young at this time,
Mm-hmm.
and so then it was always in my mind. So then when I reached high school, they had me take one of these Meyer, what is it called, Meyer something test,
Uh-huh.
and it basically evaluates your personality. And they said I was good for three things, right? I mean, come on, you're always good for more than that, but
Yeah.
they said you would really be good in these three things: one, a pilot;
Uh-huh.
two, a lawyer; or three, a disc jockey.
Wow.
So there I am, right? And so then when I went to community college at College of the Desert, and I got my AA in business administration,
Mm-hmm.
and I was looking at various different universities, but I found this one, UC Riverside, which I loved because they had a Chicano studies program,
Mm-hmm.
and they had an office of Chicano student programs. Now those two are different.
Mm-hmm.
One is academic, the other one is for the students, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so then Chicano student programs, which is a retention and recruitment office for the university, they were having various conferences. One of them was called the Chicano Youth Conference, and I came to that. The students were very good with me. They helped me out. A person named Greg Cervantes knew my family. He graduated here. He was still a student. He became the mayor of Coachella at one point in '93.
Oh, wow.
And so he was a really good guy, and he really helped me out, and he was there for me. Another young lady named Kathy Arias helped me out.
Mm-hmm.
So I really connected to UC Riverside way before I even got here.
Mm-hmm.
And so this was really the only campus I applied to. I was accepted, and I came. And I also was attracted because they said, we have a radio station here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so then I figured, well, let me check out the radio station. So I came to the radio station, and there was this DJ, and he brought me in, put me under his arm, right? Darren De Leon, also known as Aztec Barrett,
Mm-hmm.
brought me in, and he was very kind and generous, and he taught me radio. And then from there, I've been a DJ since 1992-93 school year
Wow.
till now. And then, I helped expand Radio Aslan from midnight all the way through 7 a.m. in the morning. I helped bring a lot of the station identifications to the radio station. I helped coordinate and bring together the Radio Aslan Music Festival that we held for almost 15 to 20 years straight. And I also trained at least 20 apprentices under my program.
Mm-hmm.
That were all Chicano students, mostly, some community members. One of them was Angel Baby. Angel Baby now is the new Art LeBeau. So he hosts
Mm-hmm.
the new Art LeBeau. I trained him.
Amazing.
Yeah, so, again, I've been involved in radio for a very, very long time.
Yeah. So if I fully understand, where your passion for radio came from started out in your journeys, like you mentioned, at the College of the Desert, being in LA, wanting to be a disc jockey, and then moving, always taking action until you landed at UCR, where you found people to take you under your wing, like you said, the DJ, Darren De Leon, right? And then from there, you just kept practicing your skills, training, putting together festivals, and making sure that other people could have the same accomplishments that you did by training them.
Correct. And this is the important part that we should know is that KUCR is a non-commercial radio station, educational radio station. So anything below the band of 90.000 is basically educational radio station. So all FM stations. 90.7 is KPFK out of Los Angeles. It's also a non-commercial radio station, educational radio station. So this is why it's important to understand what we're doing for the community. It's about the community. It's about educating the community. It's not about selling a product. It's about telling people what's going on in our community, locally, statewide, and nationally, which is very, very important. Now, there's a couple other things that you should know too, and that is that I also got involved in journalism. So I wrote for our newspaper here on campus called Nuestra Cosa. Nuestra Cosa existed from 1972 all the way, I would say, up to 2002, 2005. Ay por ahí. So then I was a contributing writer for Nuestra Cosa from 92, 93 all the way to at least 2002. Writing different articles. And what was nice about that is you learn how to write, right? People look at your writing, they tell you, they mark it all up red, and that really helps a lot, right? So you learn how to write, you learn how to do the interviews. The radio helped me how to speak on radio. The newspaper helped me how to write it. Put it into paper, and that all makes a rounded figure of how to do things and how to bring things together. Yeah.
Amazing. So not only did you want to serve the community, but you also used all the skills that you were learning up to that point to create that final product.
Exactly. And so then
Amazing.
When we do these interviews, Chicano Highlights, the purpose of Chicano Highlights is, again, it's their story. It's oral tradition, right? People's oral tradition. And this is important because, you see, history only records the people that were very violent, brutal, right? The kings, the emperors, the heroes, the villains, whatever they may be, right? But they never record the ordinary person. And
I agree.
This is the connection, right? Everything falls apart without the ordinary person. Everybody's doing their part, little by little by little, but nobody ever sees it. Nobody ever really documents it. And so then, because mainstream society is focused in on mainstream society, they're not focused in on the Chicano community. We have to document our own history. And so then I bring in people from all walks of life, right? Politicians, I bring in leaders of our community, I bring in individuals that are organizing in different organizations, nonprofit organizations. I bring in people that are specifically working on very extraordinary programs, like rape prevention, right? So then we try to inform the community about what's going on, and that is critical. It's important. It's important for our kids because a lot of people, a lot of youngsters, they don't have the self-confidence. They don't know their own history. And so then when you bring in role models, and a lot of these people are role models, they've been through the ups and downs, the roller coaster rides, up and down, right? And so then they've been through the struggles. A lot of kids think that you're going to find that perfect job and everything's going to be wonderful and you're going to get hired immediately. Life isn't like that. You go through 10, 15 jobs before you find actually what you like, and that's maybe, right? Yeah. And you find your talent. Talent is very important. You have to know and understand what is your talent. Sometimes somebody has to point that out to you. And so you find your talent, you find that one thing that you love, and you pursue it. And you become good at it, right? And so then by demonstrating that all these people have gone on this roller coaster ride, then you start understanding the bigger picture of life.
Mm-hmm.
And that we all go through it, right? Some people go through prison. I've interviewed prisoners that have been in jail for 30 years,
Oh.
and what was their good and their bad that they experienced. What do they suggest to the youngsters? Their
Mm-hmm.
do's and don'ts. And so then you're also passing on mentorship. You're passing on advice. You're passing on wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
And that's important for the youngsters.
I agree. I agree. Because, it's like you said, those lessons can be so crucial and can create, the next generation of leaders. So I'm actually very curious, because you've listened to so many different people, from politicians to prisoners, what would you say, like, really makes you feel heard? What really makes you feel valued, either through the work that you do or the relationships that you have around you?
So there's a couple of things that people need. Number one, you need to find self-confidence. If you don't find self-confidence, you're always going to be in what we call the imposter syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
You're always going to feel like you don't belong, right? For me, it was Chicano studies, right? No, understanding my background, understanding my ancestors, the struggles and the terror, the horror that they went through conquest, 500 years, right? Indigenous people suffered. So you understand your past. By understanding your past, you understand your present. What conditions are you in? Why are we the minority? Why are we not in charge? Why are we the laborers instead of the people on top? Right?
Mm-hmm.
So then this defines your present condition. And understanding your present condition, you can get out of it if you understand it. But you're never going to get out of it if you don't understand it. Okay? It's like being in a swimming pool. You got to learn how to swim, right? If not, you're always going to be drowning. Always, right? You're holding on to the edge of the swimming pool. That's a lot of our people are holding on to the edge of the swimming pool. They're working 2, 3, 4 jobs, and they're holding on to that edge, almost drowning all the time, because the system is rigged. The system is rigged for the oligarchies, for the rich and the powerful. And so then we have to be able to understand all of that. And so then when we look at what you need that confidence.
Mm-hmm.
You need your background, because that's gonna be your foundation, your anchor, right? And with that, nothing can stop you. Now you have to have focus, right? Your future. What is it that you want to do? What is it that you want to accomplish? Me personally, my accomplishment is bringing forth all of these individuals to teach our youngsters. It's education. My focus is philosophy, understanding why things work the way they work, going from A, B, C, D, not skipping A to D. You don't want to do that. You want to be able to understand the bigger picture and what's going on, and be able to explain it to people. Because if you can't explain it, then there's a big problem. You're not educating your people. We're always going to be stuck in the same rut.
I see. Then, because it takes like a large amount of skill, not just to understand yourself, but also ask the questions that, help you understand yourself, that help you figure out what you want to do. I'm actually very curious, like, if you could say that you had a number one skill out of all the different skills that you've developed for yourself, what would the number one skill be that helped you every single day?
It's ability to talk. The ability to be able to defend yourself. Okay? And the only way you're going to be able to defend yourself is to educate your mind. Okay? We have a saying in Chicano studies: the most dangerous thing is an educated Chicano. Okay? Because, like I said, if you don't understand your past, then you can't argue. There's no way to argue anything, right? So people say, well, why don't you go back to your own country? Wait a minute. Hold on. I am in my country. I was here before America was here. What are you talking about? You see, that's self-defense. That's understanding your history. And when you take that defiant stance, there's nothing that they can say that will tumble you down, right? So you have to be able to understand that history.
I see. I see. Then, I just want to say, I appreciate you for dropping these wisdoms on me, because throughout this conversation, I was really able to pick up on a lot of different pieces of different parts of life that I think will really benefit not just me, but the people I'll come across in the future. So, for your time and for explaining to me a little bit about your story, I'm very grateful we crossed paths.
All right. Any other questions?
That was my last one.
All right. So now I'm going to flip it on you, and I'm going to give you some other information to help you with your journalism.
Sounds good.
All right. All right. So again, a lot of us in school get turned off by teachers. Okay, you're not good enough. You're not writing enough. You're not. They're marking your paper all in red, right? They want you to follow a specific pattern. They want you to be a monkey most of the time. Do or die, right? And they want you to follow all the commas, all the correct spelling, so forth and so on. When you can find that teacher, and I did find that teacher at community college. His name was Jack Tapleshay. I also found that teacher in high school. Her name was Mrs. Bishop. Now, they were very generous. And they said, I love your stories. Miss Bishop, when I was in high school, she said, I love your stories. That encourages you. That says, you're doing something right, right? Yeah. Doesn't matter. The spelling doesn't matter. The grammar doesn't matter. The commas don't matter. That could all be taught eventually, right?
Yeah.
Because I didn't know how to spell for nothing, okay? And it's just something that a lot of times we go through school. They got 30 students per class. They can't teach everybody. You don't learn everything, Yeah. And a lot of times they graduate you with a 6th grade education. I mean, you just don't know anything. In community college, I had another instructor, English instructor, and his name was Jack Tapleshay. And, he would mark everything in red, but he says, you know what? I love how you write. Keep it up. All this stuff, it could be put aside. The commas, put it here, try to put it there. That's fine. But, I'm not going to mark you off because of that.
Yeah.
Some teachers, they'll mark you off just because the grammar, the commas, the colons, whatever.
Yeah.
And they make you feel like, bad about yourself, about your self-confidence, and that's what destroys students many times. You know what I mean?
I agree.
And so then that's the first thing. Find a good teacher that can instruct you. The second thing, if you're going to do interviews, always have a recorder. Always. Because a recorder, even though you're taking notes and your thing is journalism, to write down notes. The problem is that people are said you're going to take me out of context. That's not what I said. And how are you going to prove it if it's not recorded? See, that's the key, right? Because when you record it, you also have documentation of what was said, how it was said, and that you were not biased, that you did not put words in people's mouths. That's critical. That's very important. That's why I like to record everything. Okay. So it's important to record everything and just keep it, put it away. 20, 30 years from now, you can go back to that interview and you can say, oh, wow, I did this. I don't remember this, but I did do it. Yes, I did. Okay. That person is now famous. That person now is the president of the United States. Oh, my God. And I got a recording 30 years ago. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it is important. It's critical that you do record this stuff. Okay?
Okay.
So that's another tip. Okay? So then writing is an artwork. Okay, it could be a masterpiece if you want it to be a masterpiece. It could be mechanical if you want it to be mechanical. All right. The thing is it which one do you want it to be? Do you want it to be mechanical or do you want it to be art? All right. Now, there are ways to write. Okay. To be artful is to layer it, right? You're going to write double innuendos. It's going to be layered, right? So when you're speaking to one crowd, you're saying one thing, but you're also saying another thing to another crowd. So you're saying two things. And you can layer it 3, 4, 5 times, depending on how you write. So it is philosophical. Okay, so let me give you an example.
Yeah.
The word devil, right? In a 5-page article, you could say devil 50 times, but that's not you're not teaching yourself anything. You're not saying anything to anybody. Okay, it's the devil. So what? No big deal, right? But if you look at the synonyms, there's over 50 different ways to say the devil, right? Yeah. Mephistopheles, Satan, the fork-tongued liar, Count Iblis. Who the hell is Count Iblis, right? Right? And so then each time in those 5 pages, if you say it, 50 different ways, then you're educating people at the same time. Because people are going to say, well, who the hell is Count Iblis? And they're going to look it up.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So now you're educating them, but not just that, you're educating yourself. How to use those synonyms. Well, why didn't you just say the same thing? Yeah, but that's the easy way. You see what I'm saying? That's not what we're trying to accomplish. What we're trying to accomplish is you educating yourself and educating your audience. If you're not educating your audience, well, what are you doing? What are you doing it for? Yeah. The whole point of any article, of any story, is to educate someone. Either in wisdom, in profit, whatever it may be, you have to try to educate people. So that's one of the major goals of journalism education, right? So when you go out to, let's say, an event, you want to be able to talk to people that know what they're talking about. A lot of reporters go out and they interview this person or that person. They don't know what they're talking about. You got to go to the organizers. You got to go to people that put the event together, because they know why they're doing it. If you just catch anybody from the street, I just ate some corn, man, and oh man, this is a great event. This is awesome. Well, why are you here? Oh man, I didn't have anything else to do, dude. Yeah. Right? That doesn't do nothing for nobody. Yeah. Right? You want to be able to, what are the 5, 6 reasons, right? It's who, what, when, where, why, and how. In English, it's always the same thing. Answer those things in everything, and you'll be okay. If you don't answer those 6 things, there's something wrong. You have to answer them, okay? If you make a flyer, it's always the same thing. Who, what, when, where, why, and how. How do I know that? Because I've been writing for 30 years, okay? So then, writing is an artwork if you want it to be an artwork. I write. There's a lot of people that don't read my stuff. Why? Because it's difficult. It's difficult to read. It's not easy. I'm not going to make it simple for you. If you really want to understand, educate yourself. You know what I mean? And people say, well, then you're not teaching, the average Joe Blow from Kokomo, right? Yeah. Well, that's not my job. It really isn't my job. I teach in various different ways, okay? All right. So then how do you teach Joe Mo from Kokomo? You teach them with video, right? These interviews right here, that's how we're teaching them, okay? You see, there's different ways, okay? So how do people learn? Okay? People try to say there's only one way of learning, which is education. No, there's many different ways, okay? There's people that are listeners. They only learn through listening. Okay, I'm one of those. I learned by listening to my elders. In my barrio there was 20 people, right? And in my barrio, some got married, disappeared, some went to jail, some were tecatos, which means heroin addicts, right?
Oh, okay.
And you look at the heroin addicts on their bikes running around with the VCR, whatever machine that they stole from their mother, trying to sell it in the community. And the older veteranos, the older guys, would say, hey, look at that guy. Don't do drugs. I listen. I was like, okay, I'm not going to do drugs. I don't want to be like that. I don't want to steal from my mom. See? That's one way of learning, okay? Other people learn with their hands, right? They're perfect musicians. They're perfect mechanics, right? They learn with their hands, right? Other people learn through mathematics. The only way they learn is through they see numbers in their head. They understand numbers. They can calculate numbers in their head. So everybody learns differently. The talent is, how do you learn? How do you learn? How do you teach others? And finding that talent within that individual, what's the best way? Some people have to learn the hard way. No matter what you tell them, you tell them, don't stick your hand in that fire, and they still do it.
Uh-huh.
Because they have to do it. They just have to. There's no way out of it for them. And you're like, well, you're going to learn the hard way. You want to learn the hard way? Go for it. You know what I mean? But it's just everybody learns differently. So these are rules within journalism, right? And so journalism, again, you have to keep, for me, I write until I'm done.
Yeah.
All right? Now, that could be 1 page or it could be 50 pages. It's just, you have to have an instinct for it. As you sit and you think, things will just come to you. And this is important. Now, I have a small recorder here. Okay? Yeah. It's a digital recorder. It's separate. This is an Olympus 610. Now, this is separate from your phone. Okay? And you need to keep it separate from your phone.
Yeah.
These recorders are excellent. This is an old one, but still it works very well. All right. Now, I'm sitting at home, watching TV, and I hear something. I hear a word, or I hear a phrase, or I hear something, and it triggers something in me. And I write it, and I record it. Why do I record it? I record it, and then I go write it down on my computer. Why? Because I'm learning. I'm constantly educating myself. And that's important. You have to constantly educate yourself. Yeah. Now, why do I want those phrases? Why do I want that specific word? Because I want to incorporate it in my writing.
Oh, I see.
Okay?
Yeah.
So it's important to understand. So another thing that you have to do in journalism, you have to be a wordsmith. Now, it's fine to have a dictionary in front of you. A thesaurus, right? That's great. And you can reference that any time. But the point is, you have to understand the words. If you don't understand the words, then you're always going to be digging into that dictionary. Okay? So try to understand a word and the synonyms for that word. Okay? Let's say, like I mentioned, devil, right? Let's work on another word here.
Okay.
Hold on, give me a second. We'll say the word Chicano.
Okay.
All right. What does that mean? Where does it come from? Why does it exist? Who uses it? Why are they using it? You see, so you start diving in to that swimming pool. 9 feet, 10 feet, 12 feet, 14 feet. How deep are you going to go to understand? But at the same time, you're educating yourself, because when you write, you're using that word, and you have to use that word correctly. You can't just put any word there, right?
Yeah.
When you're doing journalism, all right. And so then you said earlier that you go with the flow. Energy is very, very critical in anything, in everything, okay?
I agree.
When you're speaking to a crowd, you feel the energy. It's like in a concert, the person sings, the people are singing along. Yeah. The person sings, the people are clapping. It's an energy, back and forth. There's a force that is going back and forth. May the force be with you, Luke, right? Yeah. That's all indigenous thought, actually. It's an indigenous thought. In Star Trek, the one outweigh the many outweigh the one. This is indigenous thought, believe it or not. It's all indigenous thought. We're going back to how indigenous people thought in this land. Okay. So now that energy is going back and forth. So when I sit here in front of someone and I'm doing an interview, I'm feeling their energy. We're going back and forth. I automatically tune in to what they're saying, how they're saying it, and I keep coming up with the questions depending on how they're giving me that vibration. So it's all vibes, right? Yeah. And that's important, because if you talk about everything before you do the interview, then there's no surprise. It's not spontaneous. And spontaneity gives you different outcomes every time, especially in interviews, okay? Yeah. Because spontaneity, they're going to tell you a story that they never told anybody else. That's one, right? I agree. They're going to tell you something that is amazing, and you're going to say, wow, how did that come out? And they'll tell you afterwards, you know what? I wasn't planning to tell you that. I've never told anybody that. You know what I mean? But it comes out, and it's like a magical moment in time and space, and people don't get that. You know what I mean? They want to be mechanical. Remember, I was telling you they want to be mechanical. Yeah. These are my questions. Answer my questions, or we're okay. Well, okay. Well, thank you very much. Right?
Yeah.
But I mean, that's a process because they're in the business to make money. They're not in the business to educate people. And there's a difference, right?
Big difference.
So then in journalism, you know, it depends what you're doing it for, right? Like I said, if you want to work for a giant newspaper, then go for it. You know what I mean? If you want to make money, then say so. Yeah, I'm here to make money. Okay, cool, whatever. You know, at least I know where you stand, right? But people, they wear masks all the time, right? And they lie all the time. And lying, you know, to me, it's not going to get you anywhere. You know, if you think it is, it usually comes back to bite you in the buttocks, right? So, journalism again is critical. How you write, who you're writing for, is the question also, right? So it's very, very critical. Who you're writing for? Are you writing for yourself? See, I write for myself, right? I've written over 94 articles.
Nice.
And I write for myself. Now, if people want to read it, fine. If they don't, no big sweat, right? And I'll tell you why that's important. Because you have to. There's a song called "Garden Party" by Ricky Nelson. He says in that song, he says, if you can't please yourself, then you know why are you basically here? Why are you basically here? You know, you have to please yourself first. Then you can please everybody else. And so then you have to write for yourself first. You have to enjoy it. I get a kick when I'm writing. I start laughing to myself, right? Because I know what I'm doing. I know that I'm layering it. I know that I'm putting a punchline in there. And if people pick up on it, fine. If they don't, it's no big deal to me. You know what I mean? But I'm writing for myself. I'm also writing for people that want to spend the time to understand what I'm saying and how I'm saying it and how I'm coming across. Is there any questions so far? I'm covering a lot of territory here.
Yeah, I got a lot of questions.
Well, go for it.
I guess my next one would probably be like, earlier you mentioned like the idea of writing for yourself. And I feel like that really ties into your idea of, you know, you need self-confidence to know what you want to do, what you want to accomplish, and how to lead a team to that success. So I'm very curious to know, like, what were the baby steps for you developing your high level of self-esteem, self-confidence, and self-belief?
Okay. So again, we go back to Chicano studies, right? We go back to organizations called MECHA, El Movimiento Estudiantil Chicano de Aztlán. We go back to our tradition, to oral tradition, to the indigenous thought, the indigenous philosophy. I believe in the indigenous philosophy, right? And so then you have to look for that philosophy that's going to ground you. What grounds you? And the most important thing is finding balance within all of that mess, okay? Because you can go extreme left or you can go extreme right if you don't find balance, right? So in Chicano studies, there's this whole thing about religion, okay? And I'll keep saying it over and over and over, okay? So the people on the far left, they hate religion because religion conquered this land through the Bible, through the sword. They conquered this land. So they're like, you know, God is no good. You know, God is a mean, terrible, ugly God, right? He destroyed thousands of people, murdered thousands of people, right? And so then you have to find balance because as Chicanos, we're both. We're the conquerors and we're the victims. We're both. So if you hate the conquerors, you hate yourself. How can you hate yourself, right? Because we're mixed. We're all mixed. All peoples of the world are mixed. There is no people that is pure. That's a lie. Okay? We'll get back to that later.
Yeah.
Okay, so then, or you go extremely to the right and you want to be white. You know, you want to be the dominant society. You know, you want to be a winner. You know, and you go against everybody on the left, Yeah, I don't eat frijoles. Oh my God, they give me gas. Right? Okay. I don't eat frijoles. Tortillas. Oh God, they're so terrible. Right? And so then, again, you're going to go to one extreme or the other if you don't find that balance. Now, what the left doesn't understand is that it's religion that did that, not God. God didn't tell them to do that. Mankind does whatever they want, and they use the Bible as a weapon to destroy other people. They use religion to destroy other people, but God didn't tell them to do that. God said, turn the other cheek. That's what he said, right? So they're taking stuff out of context out of the Bible. So that's like, one of these extremes that I'm trying to explain to you, because if you don't find balance, that's your anchor. And if you don't find that anchor, you're going to flow whatever wind, however the wind blows you, right? You're a leaf in the wind. You're going to blow with the wind. And you don't want to be a leaf in the wind. You want to be a hard oak tree that never moves.
Yeah.
That no matter what hurricane or tornado comes by, you stand fast, solid as a rock, and nothing can move you. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
That's why. That's important.
And I'm actually very curious. Now that you've explained like what really helps you like stay in that grounded position, what would you say like stops everyday people from developing that? Like, what are some of the barriers that we face nowadays to actually getting to becoming that oak tree?
Distractions. They have everybody distracted, right? You want to go spend $2,000, $10,000 on a sports game. Sports, they already made their money. Those are professionals. They're getting paid, $6 million, $20 million, for whatever game. They already made their money. How are you going to make your money? How are you going to educate your mind? A game only satisfies you for 40 minutes, an hour. Oh, I'm so happy, right? And then you want to go kill, right? You want to go kill the opponents. Well, we lost, so I need to beat them up. Why are you giving your loyalty to a sports team? What has that sport team given to you? How have they educated you? Okay, so let's run through it, right? There's a process here, right? You paid for the parking. You paid for the entrance fee. You paid for the jersey, right? You paid for the snacks. So what did they give to you? Nothing. A little bit of entertainment. That's all they gave you. And you paid for that entertainment. You paid for it.
Yeah.
They didn't give it to you for free. What are they giving you? You're giving up your loyalty to them that has given you nothing in return. Nada.
Oh.
Do you get that?
Yeah.
And so then you're wasting your time being distracted. That's what I'm saying, right? What do you have in life, right? You want what everybody else has. You look around, right? Oh, they got a car. Oh, they got the blonde with 2 big boobs. Oh my God, right? Right? Yeah, I'm being honest. I'm being honest. The trophy wife, right? Okay. Yeah. And then, oh, they got a five rooms house, right? Oh, they got a helicopter. Oh my God, I want 10 cars. None of that. All that material wealth doesn't mean nothing.
Yeah.
When your kids stab you at night in your sleep because they want your money, right? When your kids are committing suicide, what does it mean? It's nothing. If you're not educating your mind and you're understanding the world around you and why things are the way they are, how do you put value, dignity, morals, ethics in your children? That's real, right?
Yeah.
That's real, not the material stuff. The material stuff goes and comes. Look at what's happening in the East Coast. A tornado comes, blows away the trailer house, blows away the house, everything's gone. And what? All that time, the machine grinding, the hamster wheel. You're on that hamster wheel and your heart is beating and beating and beating and beating, and then all of a sudden, you reach 65 and your heart pops.
Yeah.
And for what? What'd you get out of it? You know, you want a better life for your children, but if you're not teaching them the morals, the ethics, the standards, how to behave around other people, then what do you got? And so then we have to go back to, again, you know, what is distracting you right now? You know, the phones. All these super phones are computers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we talk about phones. They're not phones. They're computers.
Yeah.
They're a handheld computer. That's what it is. Okay, all the phones. And how are they distracting you? They're distracting you through social media. You know, how many people do I have? Are they looking at me? Am I beautiful? Look at this. Look at this person had a face job. I want a face job. Big booties. Oh, everybody likes big booties. I'm gonna get a big booty, right? And they go and they inject themselves with the silicone and stuff in their face. They go and they pay a cheaper price, and it destroys their face.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you got? For what? There was a lady that went inside to get one of these, injections, the Botox injections, right? Left the car on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the key fob, as soon as you walk away, the car turned off. Her child was in the car and died from heat stroke. And for what? So you could be more beautiful? And what about your child? Those are the questions that we're missing. The humanity. That's what we're missing.
I see.
Did you get all of that? Okay, all right. I know I'm intense. I'm very, very intense in the way I talk, but...
No, I appreciate you bringing up, like, those visualizations, because, you know, it really helps me, like, picture what you're saying even more. Because as I'm listening to you, you know, it's kind of like reading a book or watching a movie. Because that's what's appearing in my mind is exactly what you're describing. And it makes the listen hit a little bit harder. So I appreciate that.
And that's why stories are important. Stories are critical. You have to be able to tell the stories where they visualize it, because that's the way you're going to get into their mind. Yeah. If they can't visualize the story, then they don't know. See, everything that I said are truths. I haven't lied to you one time. I haven't made up one story one time. Everything can be confirmed. You know, so stories are critical in order to make people understand. But are they really listening, or are they just superficial, you know? So that's a different story.
So,
any other question?
Yeah, I got one more for you. You know, I'm very curious, like, you know, I want to go back to the skill set. You know, you have many skills, and storytelling just became more apparent to me, you know, the more that you explain your thoughts and ideas. So I want to ask, like, if there was one thing that you could say that you do better than everyone else around you, what would that one thing be?
I would say that I'm open to everybody. To me, my philosophy is that there's room for all of us. The problem is that we have a lot of people that are in competition with everybody. And everybody wants to knock you down. It's like a Ponzi scheme. It's like, you know, you're all climbing up that pyramid, right? And everybody wants to knock everybody else down, right? That's the problem with most people. See, I've earned my talent. I didn't fake my talent. There's a big difference, okay? So I've earned my time. I put in my time, okay?
Yeah.
And I've done it the hard way. A lot of people pretend that they've done this or they've done that, right? And they get up on top of that pyramid and they look at you and they get jealous. And they're jealous for no reason, because I'm not stopping them. I'm not stopping them in any way. You go ahead. God bless you. If you want to be a politician, go be a politician. I don't care. I'll even help you. But don't lie to me.
Yeah.
And everybody likes lying. I mean, lying is like second nature now. That's all everybody does now. Okay? So everybody's lying. Oh, and again, they're going to agree with you because they want something from you. And it's really sad because they're willing to stab you in the back in less than a second. No good deed, and it's so sad to say this, that no good deed goes unpunished, right? You try to help somebody, and then all of a sudden they want to throw down with you. It's like, why? For what reason? I just helped you. Why do you want to throw down with you? Why are you criticizing me? Why are you mocking me? Why are you ridiculing me? right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you learn, I just got to stay away from this person, right? Just push them back.
Yeah.
Because those people, they walk around with venom, all right? We call them energy vampires, all right? They go around just sucking the energy right out of you. And when you start feeling down every time you're around them, when you start like just regretting that they're around, then there's a problem because something's internally telling you this person doesn't like you, this person doesn't want you, this person is pretending to be your friend. It's a frenemy, right? We use the word now, frenemy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, who needs enemies if you got frenemies, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the whole point. And so then you have to be able to recognize that also. My philosophy is I'm open to everybody. There's room for everybody here.
Yeah.
I'm not
Kinda
taking
like-
nothing away from you.
Yeah,
So then why do you want to knock me down? For what reason? Just because you're cute. Well, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be cute. That's the way God made me. Right? You get it? You see, that's I'm a little cocky there, you right? But it's a good cocky. It's a funny cocky.
Good,
It's not I'm not being a jerk. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now there's a jerk cocky and then there's a funny cocky. Just like there's anger, right?
Yeah.
There's extreme anger, I want to kill you, and then there's anger where you use the fuel to motivate you and move you forward versus lashing out at everybody else.
So
You
finding
understand that?
balance again, right?
Finding that balance. Exactly. You got it.
Man,
Very good. Very good.
you got good energy.
Hey, there
You
it
got
is.
good energy. I respect it, especially because from your experiences, you were able to create a mindset that it's like you said, you're not in competition with everyone. You're just doing what you do to educate because you love it, because it what fulfills you, and I just got a lot of respect for that. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful that
All right.
you share that energy with me.
All right. Any other questions?
Now for now.
All right.
I'm all dry out of it, Coach.
All right. Well, good. I hope I can help a little bit. And anything that you need, just give me a call anytime. I'm willing to help, right? Just don't bite my hand off. You know what I mean? I mean, that's all I ask for, right?
Yeah.
And most people, they're like, okay, I'm done with you. Get out of my way. It's like the student learning more than the master, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, get out of my way. Now I learned everything, and now I'm better than you. Well, that wasn't. I wasn't teaching you because of that. You know what I mean? I wasn't teaching you to be better than me. Mm-hmm. I was teaching you so you can be, equal to me. And there's a difference. There's a big giant difference in that.
I appreciate that then.
Yeah, exactly.
One thing I heard from a person I really respect was I am the best, but I'm not better than no man, right?
Yeah.
And it's like you said, you don't gotta compete. The sun rises for everyone.
Exactly.
So, man, hey, I'll be calling you.
All right.
I'll be calling you.
All right. Well, then that's going to do it, Raza. We want to thank everybody for tuning in and participating with us. I hope that everybody got something out of this interview with Andres. What your last name again?
Soria.
Soria.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got to remember that. Sorry about that.
Hey, ain't no worries.
All right.
I don't take it personal.
All right, good. That's going to do it for us, Raza. Thank you for tuning in to Radio Aslan, KUCR 88.3 FM. Remember to listen all the time to KUCR.org. Also, remember to tune in to my YouTube page on Tejerina Chronicles and EastLAReview.com. Ahí te guacho. Hasta la próxima. ¿Qué hubo?